Okay, we're going to keep going. uStream cut us off. This is going to happen. This is uStream. If you know uStream, this happens. I don't know uStream that well. I know it enough to know that happens. So it's one of our challenges. I guess the mayor's office might have a better connection than we have here. Vote Barry. Now, so what you're talking about across the Weasel Head is an above-ground tunnel or a berm, I guess.
It's more like a berm that actually goes over on a bridge. It sounds really kind of crazy, but we had some people from the West Coast, the Dees Tunnel, and some of those engineers, and it's amazing the creativity that has occurred in order to move vehicles and still, respect the housing and the environment. This is worth looking at. We knew this solution needs to happen sooner than later. We should get started as soon as we can, but I think it doesn't take too long to get a few creative people to look at other options. And the idea there is to not fill that whole valley with nothing but the roar of cars and trucks and everything else. There's got to be some sound dampening.
If you haven't been down to the Weasel Head, you're missing something. It's like not going to Jasper, which I didn't do for 15 years.
Look at Bowness Park. Bowness Park, beautiful park. I'm a whitewater canoeist, and I just love canoeing. So I'd go in the lagoon, paddle up to the very end of it. That would get me in the river, and then you'd have those weirs. So you can do what we call wave turns. Just spin your way all the way down. It's just an incredible thing to do in a canoe, and there's about 4 or 5 of them in a row, and you can just have a lot of exercise. And I realized that during that time, while I liked it, I could hear literally water over the rocks. I could hear the birds. I could hear the wind in the trees. And through all of that, you smell the air. It's fresh. You can smell green.
But Bowness Park has changed now, right?
Now it's changed.
Yeah,
they put a big bridge over top, and now you can't hear the water You can't hear the water, the leaves, and most of all, the smell of the gas.
Yeah. So that's a task for you Calgarians out there. If you have a problem you don't have a problem with the bridge over the Weasel Head, go to Bowness. Go to Bowness Park. Not when it's 30 below out, but try and go now when there's people out there on a weekend, when there's kids playing, and you will hear the cars. I've been there many times. I know what you're talking about. So, but I can know that, and you can know that. Anybody can know that. But if you go there, you will know that, and it immediately you can start to think, oh well, yeah, and then go to and if you know the Weasel Head and you imagine that noise there, you won't like that idea at all. So, but the points are, there's a lot of creative ideas. There's a way to do it, and the dang thing's got to get built. How long is it? 50 years? City's been working on building that.
It feels like 50 years. It really does.
I heard that number from somewhere. So.
But the fact is that it should have happened a lot sooner.
Now, can I just go back and say, you talked about the deal was done, and it went to the province, and the province sent it back, and this clause.
No, the Tsutina sent it back.
The Tsutina sent it back to
after receiving the
from the province.
Yeah.
And they sent it back to Calgary. So Calgary brokered the deal, with the province, and then
no.
So where'd the land swap? Who lost the land swap? This is just like the stolen tunnel. Somebody stole the land swap. Who stole the land swap?
Okay. No, this deal is between at the end of the day between the Tsutina and the provincial government.
So we really just want a road.
Well, it's their road. It's a key road. The ring road is theirs, and it's their responsibility to build it.
So it's our job to make them understand that this is actually important.
It is important, and when you got to realize that land is very important. As you get a higher population and there's less land, it gets a little crowded. So land is important, both for raising crops as well as for people to live.
Yep. Okay, I want to segue off of that. The point's there. The road's got to be built, and that sounds to me like the province has got to be energized. Can I say that? Energized?
Yeah. And I think somebody will say, "Hey, Erskine, that's a harebrained idea. Hey, I'd rather look at some ideas and see if we can find something that's a little more creative."
I'll tell you, if it's going to cost $500 million to put a tunnel under the airport runway, one little runway, it's going to cost like $1 billion or $2 billion to put it under the Weasel Head. I mean, I don't know. Those are just round numbers.
So there's no tunnel.
It's insane. There's no tunnel.
No, this is
this
is an above ground.
It's got to be above ground. The berm idea, it's unique. Let's look at it, and let's look at everything. Let's talk to people. Let's get Calgarians engaged. So that's what you want to do. I like that.
Hey, nobody ever figured that we could get animals across down in those areas, as we go out to Banff, animal crossings. And
Yeah.
guess what? We came up with the idea, and we used water pipe. That's what you're actually, massive water pipes is what you're driving through there, that were left over
Works fine.
from construction in Calgary.
Works fine. Yeah, it works totally fine. Now, I wanted to segue there, and I had it in my head as one of those moments. It's like, oh, I know exactly. No, I've lost it. So,
okay.
What should we talk about next?
I think the thing that we need to engage along with all of the taxpayers is a group of young people that are coming up that are very focused on what is happening in the process of democracy, and how democracy works, what it means to them, and how do they get involved. And I think if younger students are very focused. I can't believe the calls I've got from 9 and 10 and 11 and 12-year-olds, and hit me with questions that really had to take a few minutes to answer.
And I got to say, on the website, I will say a large percentage of the traffic is from cbe.ab.ca, which is the Calgary Board of Education, and it isn't from the office, it's from the students. And there's a couple of youth democracy associations. So these are kids that are interested and want to be involved in the process, and that's exactly the kind of people we want to engage. And someone else that should be engaged, and I think this was mentioned at a recent forum, but the people that run for mayor. Okay, the job of mayor, you have to be a little crazy. It's a big job. It's hard. I mean, I personally don't want it. I wouldn't want it. And good on you for going after it. But it's a big, bad job. But the people that run for mayor are running for it for one of two reasons, in my opinion. They have a personal goal, and to me, that's nice. Have a nice day. But the other people there, and these are mostly the trailing candidates, or the ones that aren't in the media's top three, those guys all have a point. Every one of them has a valid, hard, logical point. That team should be on some of these committees. These guys who have a point. There's, one person's really looking out for the social aspect, and the other person's really looking out for the budget aspect. I mean, those guys are good too. So the youth guys are there, and the people that are crazy enough to run for mayor are there. I think you guys should all get together and be part of your team at City Hall somehow.
Yeah, it is, because it really comes down to leadership, not dictatorship, but leadership. Yeah. And it's really very, very important to bring your group together, listen to what they feel should be happening on the horizon, and be creative in what this city should look like, right down to the bolts and nuts of the economy and how you deal with that. You've got a spread there, and if you got a good team and they're working together, they can disagree on lots of ideas, but essentially respect each other and work together makes a huge difference as to the product. Yes, it's quite easy for someone to dominate, or a smaller group of city council to dominate the outcome, but that is not a good decision. Anytime you have an 8-7 vote on a continual basis, that is not a democracy.
And that's what City Hall's had lately.
That's what they've had. And normally the proper vote out of 15 would be 10, 12. That's a consensus.
A majority, a consensus.
That's a consensus.
Yeah.
And that means that we've done the work, we've done the homework. I've seen a lot of things go through where there was lots of pieces missing just to get it through, rather than have it go through correctly.
Okay, let's talk about consensus. That's a good word. Now you are, I'm going to say, an expert in consensus. Can I use Garrison Woods as an example of bringing diverse groups together? And I love Garrison Woods. Before you get into what happened, I love Garrison Woods because at least half the other candidates, including the top three, two of the top three, by the media's top three, are holding up Garrison Woods as a shining example of what development needs to be in this city because of the different densities of housing and the creative land use. And there's a whole half a page on some of the bios of some of these people as to this is what we should be doing. Garrison Woods, you brought everybody together to the table, made it happen, and you insisted, I believe, that they'd have those multiple densities that everybody's trying to champion. That was yours.
Yeah, that was ours, and the fact is that I think a lot of people came to the same ideas. Yes, you drop a few ideas and they get picked up and they start to work towards a solution. And I think that the IAP2, International Association of Public Participation, Lonnie Gabinet, her and her team put the whole area on the table and made everybody work together. This group is what I was one of the founders of, and and this is the whole thing of getting communication in a positive focus towards a goal that is doable. And at the end of the day, rather than destroy all of the old military homes, they were sold to people who renovated them, and we also a lot of those homes were redone, but they were very affordable. I think a mixed kind of area is the most healthy. I don't think a whole bunch of small houses all pushed together is any better than big houses all pushed together. I think we need three or four different sizes: small, medium, large, and large, and that kind of thing. When a person, say, starts their family here and they say, hey, I like this community, the school's good, I like where I live, hey, maybe we'll sell this house now that we've kind of and we'll move into a larger house
in the same neighborhood,
same area,
yeah,
and keep your neighbors. Beautiful. And everything else.
There was an article in the Herald today about another young couple moving into a small home, and right in I think it's not Garrison Woods, the one right next to it was patterned after it. That Canada Lands, is it?
Yeah, same one.
And they've done the same thing. They liked it, and if you, I actually
Garrison Woods and Canada Lands the same.
Same. Well, but they've if you go to their website, they're now, I don't know which came first, the cart or the horse, but they're championing that in all their developments all across the country.
They've got high rises, they got walk-ups, a complete mixture, and the whole area is connected by walkways.
Yeah, it's nice. I have only been through it once. I've actually seen lots of pictures of it. It's winning awards for its ingenuity and integration and usefulness. I mean, it works. It's a working community, and not like the Montreal Habitat.
And we got to thank everyone that worked on that team or came in to give ideas, because there was lots of workshops, and at the end of the day, when it crystallized, it became, I think, a leading edge. I think there's been somewhere around 1,400 groups from different countries that have come and walked through that area to learn how to do this.
Yeah, and that's a testimonial, and I get that, and that brings us back to, we're going to shut this segment down shortly, but that brings us back to, again, why vote for this guy? Because he has done it. He is on the front of it, and everyone else is either new, which isn't a bad thing, but a good idea, and $1.50 will get you a cup of coffee. And there's some of the people that are running are, I'm sorry, part of the problem. They were there during the creation of the problem. If they didn't stop it, to me that makes them part of the problem. So I'm sorry. That's
so
just
my
me.
role, generally is being a facilitator, getting the best out of the team, and getting them focused on decisions. That's leadership. That's true leadership.
Yeah, that's leading.
And that's something. It is the group that creates that energy, and they should be thanked.
There's some darn good folks in Calgary here, and they need to participate in these decisions, and they want to participate in these decisions.
Absolutely.
Hopefully this forum, this uStream forum, works for everybody. We're going to be back tomorrow at 3, and we're going to keep going. We're going to just keep answering questions, and we're going to keep talking, and we hope you guys will link in on uStream and send us your questions. Once Barry is elected mayor, we will continue to do this. We probably get a little better at it. This particular segment is in 3 parts because of the uStream dropouts, but hey, we're learning, and but we aim to get better at it, and maybe some of you have some suggestions and input, and we can reach a consensus on how to do that as well.
Well, Calgarians always work together, and if we work together, we can challenge anything.
That's great. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you.